Okay, so now we've got all of our code to where we can win, and everybody tested theirs to make sure they got the winning scene. Okay. Anybody not get a winning scene that you couldn't win? All right, we're going to do the timer now. I'm going to make this small. I'm going to show you a little trick. See how my code is just kind of all over the place here? If I take my mouse to the white work area and I right click, which is 2 fingers on the mouse pad, there's a block, an option called Clean Up Blocks. And I click that, and it lines everything up for you so you can see it. All right. Now, one of the things we could do if I wanted to, I could go down here to my blocks. These are functions, and I could make a function for all of this and be able to use one block, but I'll show you some stuff like that later. All right, so we're going to do a timer. So I need to, we're going to see, we can do it when we click the green flag. If we do it right when we click the green flag, we're going to have to pause it. I'm going to say when our backdrop changes, but we've got this hiding too. Look at here. All right, so space key, when my backdrop switches to level 1, let's bring that over. Let's do that. When my backdrop switches to level 1, we want the timer to start. Now, I've got 15 seconds here, which is going to start automatically, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do another if statement like we did here, but for the timer. I'm going to bring over, and remember, when you have an if statement, you got to have a forever block. I'm going to go ahead and connect that. I'm going to also bring over this 1 second block to put right before the timer. Because remember, I had my virus wait a second while it's hiding, then show. I don't want that to be part of the timer. I want to make my timer when the virus shows. I don't have an event block that says when sprite such and such. I could create some stuff like that, but I'm making it kind of simple. Now you could do this code on your backdrop, or we could do it all here. This is one of the things, like with the timer and your points, your score, they can be coded with your backdrops. It wouldn't hurt either way. All right, so I need to get one of those if statements again right here. We're just using a single if statement. Now this if statement, just like the one that we used here, I got to have some math blocks. So I'm going to come down here to my green ones, my operators. All I need this time is the blank something equals. I just need this equal one. All right? But I do have to put a variable inside. Remember, we don't type in here. We type for the numbers, but over here we have to have the variable. We're doing the timer, so this time we're taking the timer variable and put it inside there. Now, if our timer starts at 15 seconds or 20 seconds, what are we counting down to? The end of the game. What number do we count down to? What? 5? No? Is that how a timer ends? What does timers usually count down to tell you you lost if you didn't get enough points? 0. Count down to 0. So if we change this number, well, you know what? If you want to count down yours to 5, you can set up a timer that counts down to a certain number, then that triggers something else to happen. We're doing, remember, a simple countdown game. You're racing against the clock. So this is all I need in my if statement with the beginning of it. Now, to get this to change, I'm going to have to tell the variable timer to count down, right? We told it over here how to add. Remember, if there's no negative sign, that's adding. So we need to change our variable, which is going to be our timer. We need to change our timer right on top of this, a -1. All right? And this is all going to go in the forever block in just a moment. Because we do 1 second at a time, correct? 1 second at a time. So I need to do that. Now, to make it count 1 whole second, I have to bring over a control block that is 1 second. I know we have one here, but see, it's not going to be inside the forever block. It's all by itself because it's telling the timer code to wait 1 second before you work. Okay? Wait 1 second before you work. And what I think I might do, I can move the set timer over here after the wait, but it's going to be fine here too. All right? So I'm going to tell it to wait 1 second, then change by -1. Whoops. If my timer equals 0, what does that mean? If our timer counts down and you haven't gotten the winning background yet. It's over. Yeah, it's over. So you lost. So that means we're going to do the same thing we did right here, but with our losing background. That's why we prepped all that. So I'm going to go to Looks. I'm going to find that tab that talks about switching the backdrops. I got to find the one that says you lose. Now they have some that say like next backdrop or previous or random, but we've got specific backdrops we want to use in a specific order. That's why we're going to bring that over. We're going to switch it to the you lose background. I want to play the sound you lose. Did we look up sounds yesterday? I know in my other video I did. So when I click on the sounds tab, remember how we found the you win? You're going to go in there and find the you lose. I should have had you guys do that ahead of time. But in the other video, it tells you to do that. So if you didn't do that, we're going to click on looking for the sound. Unlike the winning sound, they only give us one for losing. It's not a bad one. I kind of like it. It's not the meh, like what you see here on code.org. So that's my losing sound. So I'm going to be able to go to sounds, and just like I brought over the play winning sound, I'm going to play the losing sound. Oh, that's a good one too. If you find something else, feel free to use it. If you said, oh no, I like this as a losing sound. All right, you can do that. You can do that. And just like we did right here for winning, we want to tell our sprite to hide, because otherwise people will keep clicking it and the code won't know to stop yet, and it's going to end up saying you won. So we're going to have it hide. You can put play losing sound before the backdrop. It's going to happen pretty quick. If you want to switch it and try it each way, you can.
Maybe it's just violent.
No, hopefully not. All right, so I need to do another one of these broadcast messages. We have to create a new one because we only created one for winning. So at the bottom of events, I always have to go up and down here. I'm going to bring over broadcast message, but I'm going to click on the drop down because I need a new message. This is not for winning. It's got to be for losing. You can say you lose, you can say you lost, losing. It's just as long as it connects, it's not going to show on the screen. It's this block, this section of code is talking to everything else. So once that's done, not very many blocks, I put that right inside here. All right, so let's separate that a little bit. When the backdrop switches to level 1, we wait 1 second, and then our timer starts. I'm assuming 15 might work. I'm going to test it out, but let's see. Okay, we have got to make sure we have when I receive the broadcast message. So we got 2 broadcast messages. The winning one is going to tell your code to stop running all the code. The losing one does the same thing. So we're going to bring over, when I receive win, I'm going to bring over 2 of them. Because one is going to change to lose. Let me move this up. All right. I need to have both of these messages here. When I see winning broadcast message, I'm going to tell everything to stop working, but I want to either relish in my celebration or make them relish, and I'm going to relish when they lose. I'm going to bring over the 1 second. And then I'm going to tell everything to stop. There's a stop all button at the bottom of controls right above where you make a clone. I'm going to bring 2 of these over. But before I do anything else, I like to click on the drop down and switch it to other scripts in the sprite. Stop all should make everything stop, but in my experience, having this works better. It will tell everything that we see here to stop working. And when it's working, you know, it's highlighted in yellow. Now, since I have this much, I'm going to test it. I should be able to win and lose my game. My background should switch to the correct one. My score should go to 0. My timer should restart. This should count down. So we're going to test it now. All right. My timer is counting down. I noticed it started right when my virus popped up. I was kind of looking at both. See how they go behind that sometimes? See what happened? My timer kept going. It was a little too fast. So, and then it gave me the win. So what I got to do, I've got to look at my code here. The only thing I've done different is not having, I'm going to take away the wait blocks. All right, I'm going to take away the wait blocks. And then that should work better. I'm going to try it again. So sometimes that happens. You got to think about, I thought, I just know how quickly this was. It didn't, I had it waiting 1 second. That's why it ended up letting me do both. And then once I get this done, if I like all this, this is when I'm going to decide, do I want a single sound or do I want background music? The timer, yeah, the timer will continue a little bit because I saw it lit up here, then it stopped. That really is a pretty good amount of time to celebrate. Now I'm going to let it loose. I want a couple points. So I'm just going to stop it here. Let the timer go. So far, 15 seconds works for me. It's not too long. It's not too quick, but I might consider changing this and having, see, and then everything stops. See, and the reason why we make it hide is my code right here was still lit up. If I didn't tell my sprite to hide, they may keep clicking on it and getting points, and then it's going to kind of put a damper into your game. All right, we can all win and lose, so we're going to talk about adding music. We can do it here, or we can do it on your stage. We're pretty good about either one. I think for purposes of trying to keep the code in one area for this first project, we're going to do it here. What I'm going to first do is I'm going to click to sounds, and I'm going to go in to search sounds. Now, you can go through all of this, but if you go to loops, loops will give you something that sounds like background music. There are all kinds of loops that sound like music. Dance Magic is one of my favorite ones. I'll probably go with that. This one too. You want to think about your game. Some of these are cool, but if they're kind of slow, you may not want them. So I'm going to stick with my. But when I click on it, it adds it. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to find something they like, then I'll show you the code. Okay, I'm going to show you how to add music now, but I'm also going to show you how, if you find a sound you want to change. Like I found a new sound for You Lose, and I've already added it. All I got to do is click on this drop down, and
It's the backdrop.
it is the backdrop. Oh, that's correct. That was backdrop. Don't want to change that right here. My oops. Okay. Now I'm going to add my music. So I'm going to come over here to events. Now the thing about adding background music, even if you brought in your own song, if I bring over my play until done sound, now I got to click on this and find my dance magic. Listen to what happens if I don't put it in a forever block. Made me a liar. Okay, that tells me Scratch has done an upgrade. You used to have to put that in a forever block, otherwise it would give you a scratchy tone. So I just got that like this. This will change whenever I win or lose. So now when I play my game, I'm going to try it out. Okay, my music stopped. That's what I was shooting for. So my music stopped. So what I'm going to do is we're going to come to control. I knew it would kind of play. Miss Dunn's been a while since I've done this. I'm going to put that in the forever block because it did play until it was done. I don't want it to stop playing when it's done. I want it to keep repeating itself. Okay? Until the game is done. Until the game is over. So let's try again. I'm going to see if I can play this a little quicker. I was down to 1 second. I was about to lose. Ah. So you just heard it restart. So, and then when I won, the timer will always count down 1 more second probably because it's still reading the entire code that you did for your timer, and then the music stopped. All right, I know I can win. I already know I can lose. So I've made my game. So what I do, I want to make sure I save now. I've got to give someone information on how to play. Right here, we had already shared these. So I'm going to click on my project page. These are your instructions. No one wants to go in and attempt to read your code to figure out how to play. So my instructions are going to be simple and to the point, like any game will have. So I'm going to call it clicker game. Whoops. I'm going to say click the green flag to begin. You can say begin or to start. When the virus pops on the screen, click, gotta work on my spelling. Click it for points. And you must beat the timer. Good luck. Now, if we were kind of working on this when we do some other longer games, I'm going to have you put a story in here. I could have said a deadly virus has attacked Earth.
And you must beat the timer or beat?
Yes, you must be the savior. You must eradicate the virus before it eradicates everyone else. You must be, beat the timer. Thank you. Notes and credits. If you get code from somebody else, like I've gotten my Snowflake code from another person, I tag them here and say, thanks, I used your Snowflake code or whatever code. And then we've already added everything to Miss Dunn Studio, correct? And you'll click on Studio, you'll find the one for your classroom. Once you add it, like you can see I've already added it, you don't have to add it again. You can copy this link if you want to email it to friends. If anybody wants to email it to their cell phone and try it on their phone, I think Ms. Dunn might try that. You click on that and copy link. You don't need copy embed. This is when you're putting it on a website. If I wanted this in Schoology for you guys to play, I would do the embedding. You guys don't need to worry about that. After that, it's already public. People can find your game on Scratch.
Do you have to put out the credits?
If you want to put a credit, you can say my first game, I learned to do this in class, but I am not expecting you to give me credit on stuff. That's okay. All right, so there you go.